Hi, this is Gary Kayye. We're here at ISE 2019 and here Justin Kennington again. He's the director of the SDVoE Alliance.
Still president.
Still president, sorry. President of SDVoE Alliance. He hasn't been demoted yet.
All things in time.
Which is the only standard in our industry for 10 gig AV over IP. Look, one of the things you're showing here is the fact you have 158 so far products actually shipping right now with SDVoE, which is basically AV over IP using a 10 gig
That's right.
bandwidth. But you also have a bunch that have been launched here. But there are some unique products, and you've got a lot of your partners represented here.
A couple of great things to highlight among these, as you said, 158 and now more shipping products. Christie has announced that all of their 3DLP projectors now have native SDVoE connectivity. And because of the interoperability of this platform, that means that any of the other encoders in the ecosystem can feed directly to those projectors without need for separate decode hardware at the endpoint. A couple of other things to highlight. This is a fantastic new product we're showing here. This is actually ZV's. So start with the big box here. This is Netgear's modular 96-port switch. So Netgear sells the modular switch. They sell little modules for it, including 10 gig copper, 10 gig fiber, even a couple of 40 gig ports on a module. But what ZV's just come out with is this new module with HDMI connectivity rather than Ethernet. So what that means is now if you've got an SDVoE system and you've got multiple sources inside your rack, instead of the traditional way you do it with AV over IP, you put an encoder, another cable, a decoder, another cable to get into your switch, wasting a lot of hardware, a lot of power. Now you can take those cable boxes, those Apple TVs, whatever you have in the rack, and plug them straight into your Ethernet switch. And then you use the 10 gig ports to get out to the decoders and encoders that are outside the rack.
Yeah, and this is this part of the 9600X series. One of the things I thought that was kind of cool is PureLink actually took a 16-port version of this and built it into a ruggedized rack version, basically.
Yeah, PureLink's been really going after this kind of ruggedized industrial rental and staging market. So here we have a 16-port Netgear switch inside a chassis with locking fiber connectors, locking 10G-based copper connectors, etc. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, for rental staging, I think that's where you're going to see primarily. That's the Christie Terra product right there that you were talking about, and they've taken the receivers and built them into all the 3 DLP products. So all the 3-chip DLP products have those receivers.
Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah, and the bottom box there is their controller, which allows you to control the system. Now, over here, this is kind of unique. I haven't seen this before, and that is looks like a keypad. Is this SDVoE built into the keypad or into the wall plate?
This is Aurora's Tc3 Wall Plate. It's the only AV over IP wall plate. So this is a 3-gang module that plugs right into the wall and gives you a nice clean installation where you need to have HDMI in or out. That's their transceiver, which is a technology that Aurora have developed so that you can have an SDVoE encoder or decoder just at the flip of a switch.
Yeah, and of course you've got ZV represented here, DVI gear, PTM, Dynacord, Wirestorm. Wirestorm has obviously adopted SDVoE in a big way. They're really pushing it hard.
Yeah, that's right. 41 members we stand out today.
Yeah, and one other product I wanted to show that I thought was kind of interesting, it's also a PureLink product. I'm interested in this product just because, okay, so all these other boxes here, they're all metal enclosures. They're all really cool. But when you just go to grab this one, you don't
drop that on your foot, Gary.
Yeah, you don't realize this is heavier than a brick. This is literally heavier than a brick. This is, again, part of their ruggedized product. Right?
Yes, you can drop it if you like. I'm not worried about the encoder. I'm worried about your foot.
Yeah, listen. That's heavy duty there. I like that. It's just cool looking to me. I mean, like, I like this kind of design. Let's go over here and take a look. I mean, this little diagram here sort of explains your infrastructure and your differentiation between what's going on right now and where you think the future of the market is.
This is really the software-defined story, right? The fact is there's nothing we're doing with SDVoE that wasn't possible before, that wasn't possible in a matrix switch, but it's often very expensive. It's very complex, and what happens is you need to fully understand the application before you lay it out. Then you need to design the right hardware in, buy all the right hardware, get it connected up a certain way, and now this system has a function, one function. You know, it's a matrix, or it's a multi-view, or it's a video wall, whatever you need. And then when you need to change that, it's very expensive. You're swapping out hardware, you're redesigning things. Right? The SDVoE architecture is much simpler. You put an encoder at every source, a decoder at every display, and a switch in the middle. And then the software comes in and says, you know, today you're a multi-viewer, you're a matrix switch, you're a video wall, you're a KVM, whatever functionality is needed is all just programmed through the API.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I mean, ultimately you have to have some kind of controller or some sort of visual way to control things, because people are going to want either a keypad or some sort of a back-end system that's going to be able to control their system, in this case a video wall application or whatever. This is meant to not only demonstrate that, but also demonstrate the bandwidth differences between the different standards, different speeds out.
Really all we want to show here, this evolved out of a demo we used to call the codec shootout, but you know what, we're not really in the codec shootout business anymore. So instead, as we're transforming the matrix, we need to prove to people that SDVoE actually delivers the performance of a matrix, that zero latency and that zero compression performance. So here we have a live video source. That's HDMI, right? Just straight through. We have SDVoE. We have HDBaseT, which uses their DSC compression to squeeze 4K 60 into their 8 gig pipe. And then here we have Crestron NVX, which honestly is probably the best of breed 1 gig solution. But the fact is there's just only so much you can do with compressing down to 1 gig. So only SDVoE here is actually delivering the performance of a matrix switch.
One other thing I want to point out is, I don't know if we can get over here, there's a little teeny keypad. Can I show that little keypad? All right, this is kind of interesting to me. There's a little small keypad right here. This is another example of a controller, because all this is doing is this is interfacing the controller that's controlling whatever system, whatever inputs and outputs you have. This is just a simple keypad that anyone could build to be able to emulate the functions of just a switcher with a front panel button.
To be honest, all that's going on in this demo is there's a computer in there that's running the SDVoE API service, and these keys are hooked up to a few custom Python scripts that say, give me a video wall, give me a multi-view, fast switch.
So this is the kind of example you put this in you could put this in a classroom, and someone could have like 4 presets or 5 presets of the room, so that you could have it in multi-view mode, or maybe tiling mode, or just in full screen presentation mode.
And although this system is showing off those processing capabilities, what's really neat here, if you want to come look, is that this is the hardware that's running it. And
4 different companies.
Here's ZV, here's Christie, here's DVI Gear, and here's IDK, all working together in a perfectly interoperable way, even on these most advanced features of the platform.
Right. So that's the point, right? So to learn more, go to sdvoe.org.
That's right, and check out our SDVoE Academy while you're there.
Yeah, that's the educational section. Of course, you can check out all the stuff we've written about all the SDVoE partners here at the show by just typing in SDVoE in the video search window, or sorry, in the web search, anywhere on our site, any of the search on our site.
Just type SDVoE.
Just type
You'll be fine.
You'll find everything we shot, all the videos, and you also see all the products we've written stories about. Thanks for watching, Justin. Thanks for helping me today.
Thanks, Gary.